So we're gonna do an episode of I I buy records. I buy old records, and so this is gonna be a punk and indie based episode. Based on those genres, there's really only going to be one record that I found in the wild, and even this one was in a uh, regular record store, so there's no thrift store, flea market stuff in this. Because frankly, punk and indie is not really what I'm finding in those sorts of locations. But I like that music as well. And so the first one I'll show, which is actually the best find, so you can tune out after that one, was from an independent record store. And then there's some stuff I got on some of the YouTube sales with Adam at the Record Crate, and a few that I bought directly from the respective record labels. So let's start off with the best find right here. So we have those legendary Shack Shakers. Nowadays they're usually just called the legendary Shack Shakers instead of those, but it's J.D. Wilkes and the same folks. Go Hog Wild. Flip side's called She's Gone Haywire. On the little known Misprint Records from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. If you don't know, the legendary Shack Shakers, who are currently on Alternative Tentacles, the leader and only constant member, J.D. Wilkes, was originally from Paducah, Kentucky. Does a pretty crazy sort of psychobilly style. And so I found this in a record store for $2. And so that was an immediate purchase for me. And then this is actually their first single ever. I suspected it was going to be worth more money. But even if it was worth $1, it's actually a record I want. Looked it up on Discogs. The median value of this guy's like $35. And I got it in a record store for $2. There's currently two of these on sale on Discogs for $25 and $40. And it's on traditional black vinyl. So, then the next one is going to be a split single, because you can't have a punk and indie episode without having at least one split single. So this is a split single of Rick Agnew Band and Symbol 6, Split and Stitched. It's on some sort of colored vinyl, and I think each group has two songs on their respective side. So there's Rick Agnew Band. And so this is on Jailhouse Records, 2015, a Virginia-based label. I know I get some stuff from like North Carolina and Virginia, Mid-Atlantic, when I shop with Adam. And this is punk. If I remember right, I haven't listened to this in a couple of weeks. I think the Symbol 6 is a little bit more pop punky than the Rick Agnew Band. Next one, this was cool, indie rock. Sort of a little bit of electronic influence in the indie rock by a band from Georgia. I believe they're from Atlanta, called the Selmanaires. And so the songs are, the A-side's called Just to Get Your Love, Verdigris Intrigue as the B-side on a little label called International Hits. And this one's on sort of a translucent red vinyl. So if you like pretty colored vinyl, we've got a couple for you here. Next one's another one that I believe is sort of Virginia-based punk. The Nerve Scheme. So this is an EP with 5 songs on it. The EP is called Punk's Not Punk. 69 Apples recordings from 2010. I know when I looked them up, they're like a MySpace era band on sort of a translucent gold, which is kind of pretty. And so Hopewell is the next one. So this is called Small Places. And this was sort of a blind buy. And so Zeal Records is a Belgian label. So at first I thought, oh, now I own some Belgian music. But it turns out that they're actually a New York City-based indie rock band that was active in the 2000s and early 2010s. I'll take a quick look. I think this is just regular. Yeah, this is a traditional black vinyl version. Next, one of the one of the most. This will either be the most well known or second most well known group that I'm going to show in this episode. Let me think about it. Maybe third. Okay. But anyway, Bikini Kill. So they're from Washington. I think they were from Olympia. They were on Kill Rock Stars in the 90s, sort of at the forefront of the Riot Girl movement. Kathleen Hanna and Toby Vale being the two most well-known members. This is called New Radio. And then, so this single was recorded. Joan Jett was also involved in the recording on second guitar. So this originally came out on Kill Rock Stars in '93. This is a 2017 reissue on Bikini Kill Records. Then another group that you may have heard of before is called Local H. You may remember that song Bound for the Floor, the song that uses the word copacetic a lot. And I'm a big fan of theirs. So they're based out of the Chicago area. And so Scott Lucas being the leader of this. And so this was their single called Patrick Bateman. That was off their Lifers album from 2010. This was actually released in 2019 as sort of the lead single on G&P Records. I know the G stands for Gabe Rodriguez, who's sort of a long-time roadie and friend of the band, who's kind of the one that does a lot of their merch. And this is notable because this is literally the heaviest 7-inch record that I own. This is on some serious heavyweight vinyl. It's the 7-inch equivalent of 180 gram, which I think means that this probably weighs about 60 or so grams. So it's a rather hefty little record there. And then finally, I'm going to show a few from Alternative Tentacles. I think I may have already shown these, but I'm going to show them again. So we have the Darts from 2019, all-female band from Phoenix, garage, originally on Dirty Water Records, then reissued on Alternative Tentacles on this nice translucent yellow vinyl. One of the labels is the familiar Alternative Tentacles label. You may know Teenage Fan Club. So this was Teenage Fan Club collaborating with Jad Fair. This had originally been released back in 2002. Teenage Fan Club was kind of a fairly known sort of indie alternative rock band in the 1990s. Scottish, if I didn't mention that. Jad Fair was in half Japanese. He's an artist. He's been a prolific collaborator with a lot of like sort of people on sort of the fringes of the music industry. We got Pansy Division. So they're one of the most well-known of the queercore groups. And so this is called Blame the Bible. And this came out in 2016. I think this is their most, was off their most recent album. They've been putting out stuff since the 1990s. And they've got, of course, their Pink Triangle. And then the Alternative Tentacles on the other side. And then the last one I'm going to show, which I know I've shown this record before, but let's show it one more time. Punk out of Tijuana, Mexico, DFMK. So hardcore with Spanish lyrics. Dane Peligro. And then these are, so there's 3 songs on this. And so those are some recent punk and indie finds. I have a few more, but I'm going to keep the video under 10 minutes, so I'm going to stop here.